everyone, my name is Sierra and I am the founder of Sierra's in Theater, which is a blog. Hey guys, welcome back to Sierra in Theater. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about stage makeup. So what I'm going to be going over in this video is what I would consider stage makeup, what actors typically will need inside of their makeup box if they have to buy their own makeup, and how you can apply it to your face. So this is going to be for both designers, like makeup designers who aren't very sure what the actor should be buying, what they should be buying, and also for actors who are a little confused as to what they should be buying and how to use it all. So basically what I'm going to be doing, I'll be applying my makeup as I explain things to you so you can see what's happening with what I'm doing. So fair warning, some of these things people can do different ways depending on your face shape and the way that you look and the way that your design is supposed to look. You will do different things. For example, the way that I do eyeliner probably isn't going to be the way you do eyeliner because the eyes are going to be shaped differently. If you are playing a specific character who is going to look, more evil or nicer or whatever, you're going to do your eyebrows differently and your contour differently and everything differently. So keep that in mind. So if you're an actor, don't just take this verbatim and apply it to yourself. Make sure you ask questions to your makeup designer and make sure you're sure about what you should be doing before you do it. So without further ado, I guess we'll get started. So the first thing, this isn't stage makeup, but for people who don't usually wear makeup a lot, you'll probably want some kind of face wash or face thing to help with the fact that you don't usually wear makeup, so your skin isn't going to be used to you wearing this much makeup this often. You're probably going to be applying makeup to your face every day for a while. So at least at my school we had 3 show days, but we also had tech week, so actors who didn't usually apply makeup to their face were applying makeup to their face every day for a week. Your skin is going to flip out if you do that, and don't let it flip out. So kind of try to counteract that by washing your face a lot and making sure you use acne medicine and different stuff like that. The first thing you actually need for stage makeup is foundation. Part of a problem with foundation is that the foundations that are typically good for everyday use aren't very good for stage use, but as a makeup designer, I never really specified that because as long as people were putting foundation on their face, for me personally, I didn't care if it was, an actual theater stage makeup foundation. For stage makeup foundation, try to match it as much as you can to your neck and the rest of you instead of to your face like I would for a beauty makeup, because your face typically looks pretty pale on stage, and with all those lights on you, it makes it even worse. So you want to counteract that as much as possible by matching your foundation to your skin, like your body instead of your face. I'm not going to go into brushes. That's probably going to be a different video that I would do, like what you should use for different things, makeup designing versus acting, but I guess if you wanted to watch out for what brushes I was using, you could do that as well. For powder, you want to use setting powder for the stage because you're going to be sweating a lot. So if you're in a musical, you'll be dancing and you'll be jumping around and you'll be sweating. So using the setting powder helps make sure that your foundation is going to stay in place, and even if you're not in a musical and you're just in a regular play, you're probably still going to be sweating because costumes are sweaty and the lights make you sweaty and just everything is hot on stage. Keep in mind that the reasons I'm telling the actors they should be doing these things would be the reasons the makeup designer should be doing these things or should be telling the actors to do these things. So you can use these as kind of both things. So for bronzer or contour, I don't actually know the difference. Uneducated about that, sorry about it, but it's called a contour kit. So basically you want to use something that's darker than your skin. So the bottom row on this one, a lot of different contour things use light, medium, dark kind of frames to do their contours, unless you buy just a little pack of bronzer, and then it's gonna have the number on it. So make sure that you look at your skin tone and find a bronzer that matches the undertone of your skin. So don't go and get a warm tone bronzer if you have cool tone skin. For example, with me, I have cool tone skin, which is why purple would look better on me than a red, for example. My contours, this one is warm, this one is it's cooler, but also kind of a little bit warm, and then this one's definitely cool. So what I do when I do them is I do put it on, and then I just use these two, the cooler ones, when I put it on, and then I just use the cooler one, the middle one, and I put that on my face everywhere. The reason I would do it that way is that way I have a little more mixture in the color, but I don't cover my face completely in a warm bronzer because I am not warm toned. So I am doing my makeup for everyday wear because I'm going to school after this, but if you are doing stage makeup, you want to make sure your contour is like super intense. That's probably just as intense as I would do to go out in public, and that's not intense enough for stage makeup. The thing with stage makeup is that these people are going to be away from you. They're going to be in an audience and you're going to be on the stage, and so they're going to have a harder time seeing you than they would if they're standing face to face. So because of that, you need to make sure your makeup is exaggerated. This is why you wear things like your eyebrows, you do your eyebrows, you do your eyeliner, you do all of that, because whatever it is that you see up close and personal isn't going to be seen from that far away, so you need to add on eyeliner to make your eyes pop and eyebrow makeup to make your eyebrows visible and all that jazz. So keep that in mind when you're doing your things like your bronzer, because it needs to be a lot more intense than it would be if you're going out. You shouldn't want to wear your stage makeup out in person because it's going to be a little too intense. Next, we're going to do eyebrows. So for eyebrow makeup, I think the best thing to use for stage makeup is an eyebrow pencil. These can be things like, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, but there's like tons and tons of them that are cheaper and like drugstore product-y. But I don't use those. But then again, I am going out into everyday places and not on stage. The reason that I recommend using an eyebrow pencil instead of using eyeshadow like I am is because eyeshadow can smear and it can smudge and it can get out of place, especially if you're sweating and moving. And on top of that, if you're doing any costume changes and they bump into you, that may also move your eyebrow makeup. But if you are using an eyebrow pencil, that probably won't happen, at least not as easily. So you should use an eyebrow pencil or an eyebrow gel. Not powder. You should definitely use something jelly and not powder for your eyebrows. The eyebrows are something that matters a lot, at least to me when I was designing makeup, because if you're evil, then I want your eyebrows to be pointed down. If you are good, then I might want your eyebrows to be pointed a little bit more up. Or for example, they really help with like time period, because a lot of people can look at eyebrows that are really slender and, you know, circular and tell like, oh, that's from a different time period. So they help with a lot of different things. So make sure you follow your designer when you're doing your eyebrows, or if you're the designer, make sure you're paying attention to the eyebrows and what you're telling them to do. Don't have them do their like super thick, like, you know, eyebrows that are in right now, unless the play is set present times. Okay, so on to eyeshadow. So eyeshadow is obviously not a required part of stage makeup. It depends on what you're doing and why, you know, you're putting on the eyeshadow. For example, there's going to be some times when you put on the eyeshadow and you put on your bronzer or like just browns in your crease to make your eyes more defined. There also will be times where the eyeshadow is actually playing a part in your character and is supposed to tie everything together, or times when this person would actually just wear eyeshadow. Or if it's like a thing where everyday people are existing on the stage, then some people wear eyeshadow. And so I always make sure I have a variety of makeup things on stage, and one of the best ways to help that is with eyeshadow, because there's so many different things you can do with eyeshadow, and there's so many, you know, ways that people can look with eyeshadow on. So even simply making one person wear purple eyeshadow and the other one wear yellow eyeshadow really sets them apart and makes it to where they're two different people on stage and they're not connected. But for eyeshadows, depending on what you're doing, let's say you have to do something where you have to do some kind of smoky eye, something where there's going to be a little bit of a darker color happening. You always want to start with the lightest color and work your way to the darkest color. So you want to put your lightest color kind of everywhere using a big fluffy brush like this, and you're going to kind of floss that everywhere, kind of like what I'm doing with the purple. And then you're eventually going to get into smaller brushes like this one, and then you're going to get into even smaller brushes like this one, and if you're using blacks, then you probably even get to a small brush like this. So make sure you work towards dark colors, especially blacks. It's hard to just go in with a black and make it look good and make it work. If you're using any kind of bright colors and you're not used to them, I would say practice for sure. But if you're given it on the day of and you can't practice, then I would say ask for help for a little bit until you can practice, because bright colors are really hard and dark colors are really hard. So those two, like dark and bright colors, are pretty hard. If you're going with something that's like super light, then it's easy to just kind of like pretend it didn't happen and start over again. But typically lighter colors probably won't be happening on stage because they're not very visible. Like I said, people are very far away from you, so they probably won't be able to see those things anyway, so you probably won't be using very light colors. So on to eyeliner. I'm gonna go ahead and do winged eyeliner, but for some productions, winged eyeliner will not be happening. It depends on what the show is about, when it's set, and the character. It's gonna be very typical for guys to not be wearing winged eyeliner on stage if they're playing masculine male roles. So this is something that guys may not have to learn. Some tips I have about liquid eyeliner real quick, because it's pretty hard. Make sure you get one that's like pointy at the end. I don't like any kind that has like a blunt edge or that's fat at the end, because that's going to be a lot harder to do any kind of eyeliner. Because with this you can work it up. With something that's big, you can't really work it down. To match my wings, don't fill them in. I just kind of do the line out and do the line out, and then I match them after I see what kind of lines I'm gonna have, because I kind of suck at eyeliner. And make sure you pay attention to your eye shape and the way that your eye looks, because different eye shapes should have different kinds of eyeliner, and you need to think about that when you're doing your eyeliner, unless you have a very specific look from your designer. For example, during Arabian Nights, I specified that I wanted everybody to have very thick, very bold eyeliner, even though it doesn't look very good on some eye shapes. So on top of that, like liquid eyeliner is also something that's not going to be a requirement. Depending on what show you're doing, it may not even be appropriate to have liquid eyeliner to begin with at all, but it could happen in some shows and is also kind of time period for some like things. But something that you probably will have for almost every show, or for a lot of shows, is pencil eyeliner, and pencil eyeliner goes on your waterline. And the reason you want pencil eyeliner to go on for almost every show is because it's a very subtle way of making your eyes pop. It works along with mascara to make your eyes, you know, your eyelashes darker and kind of make your eyes more prominent on stage and not as washed out looking. So next is mascara. You want to use mascara on both your under and upper eyelashes. With mascara, you may use false eyelashes. It depends on if your designer wants them or if you as a designer wants them. Make sure that they fit everybody else. Like if there's only gonna be one person with eyelashes, don't have them wear eyelashes. If they're supposed to be very dull and bland, don't have them wear eyelashes, like fake eyelashes. Just, you know, think about what those eyelashes will make somebody think about that person and use them accordingly. I typically let people use false eyelashes if they have them, and I just pay attention to how many people have false eyelashes, and if it's, you know, a very awkward number, then I tell people not to use them, or if people who I don't think should use them, then I will let them know that as well. The reason that I do that way is because since I was in a high school theater, some people didn't know how to do them, and I wasn't going to force people to learn how to learn how to use false eyelashes or force them to go out and buy them, because they can be very expensive. So next, and my last step, is highlight. For me personally, I think highlight is something that you should just do, even if very subtly. For example, you could take this fan brush, put it in a little bit of highlight, dust it on your cheeks and like a little bit in the center of your face, and be good. And it won't even really look like highlight, it will just look like a little bit of like maybe dewy skin or something. But I think that it helps give dimension to your actors, and I think it helps them appear less dead-like. So I guess if you want your characters to look dead-like, don't use highlight, you know? The color highlight and the way you apply the highlight will all depend on the character or your setting, and all of that jazz. If your character has predominantly green on them, then you might want to lean towards a green highlight. If they have predominantly pink on them, you might want to lean towards a pink highlight. It depends on your design and what you want to do. Oh, so before I would have put on my highlight, I would have put on blush, but I don't have any blush because I don't wear blush. So you would want to put on blush and put them on like this part of your cheek. And lipstick can also be considered part of stage makeup, but I don't want to play lipstick right now because I have to go and do things, so I'm not going to. If lipstick is part of your look and what you're doing, then make sure you use it. I personally like liquid lipstick, especially for stage, because it will stay there and it will not come off unless they have to change characters. But in that case, I don't know if I would have them wear lipstick anyway, because you wouldn't want them to have to change too much of their makeup between characters. There you go. Those are my thoughts on stage makeup. I hope they help you out at least a little bit, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye guys.
Guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find many more videos just like this one or many other topics on my channel, so make sure you check it out. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and like this video. If you haven't seen my Instagram post, you should go over to my account, like my photo, comment what you liked about this video, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. If you're interested in looking at my website, the link for that is down below. On there you can find short story scripts and my Red Lady series that is going on right now. I had an amazing time making this video, so I hope you had an amazing time watching this video, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye guys.